Hi there, this is Joanne from TrueAuthenticPower.com from Tapping.me, and I'm also the creator of the program Catapulting to Confidence. I wanted to do an audio today because I was in a discussion in a chat group, and somebody was talking about another person playing music by ear, without any music, without any lessons, without anything, except they just figured it out. And when I was looking at that, I didn't think that was any great shakes of a deal because I can do that. And when I made a comment of, well, they learned it by ear, which the person had said, the comment back was, that's amazing. What a talent. And it was in that moment that I thought, how much do we all take what our innate abilities and talents and skills are for granted? It wasn't until that moment that I ever really thought any big deal about that. But for somebody who's not musically inclined, or for somebody who is kind of tone deaf or can't differentiate notes and that kind of figuring out musically, it is a skill. It is a talent. And I was so pleased to hear that, because how many times do I do that where I'll minimize something that I do because it comes easily, or I might not even recognize how good I am at something because it's so easy, or it comes effortlessly, or it is my innate given, God-given, source-given, whatever you want to label that as. It's my talent, it's my ability, it's my skill. So many times we look to other people for what are they doing to have success? How are they living their life? What do they suggest? What are they doing? Here's the problem with that. If somebody else is telling you how to do it, you're not listening to what you're supposed to do, what you find fun, what you find enjoyment in, who you like to be around, what kind of things enliven your soul and jazz you. What were you taught or trained to believe about yourself? And that's kind of where I want this to go. What were you taught and trained about you, your abilities? And I want you to go back to early ages. I am of the belief that you can change the energy by looking at something bigger or brighter at times. But if you keep hitting a wall on the same thing, there is juicy informational nuggets in the negative. And I just think it's worth exploring, because it will lead you to say, okay, what would I have to believe in order to minimize myself? What would I have to have been taught? Where did that come from? What's the original template? And if I change that, it will make the journey easier. It will lift off that heavy energy. It will lift off the misconceptions. Honestly, I tell you, when I read that and they said, oh, that's such a talent, it kind of floored me, because I never thought anything about it. That's what you do. Isn't that what everybody can do? No, it's not. So go back to your earliest ages. What were you gifted at? What were you doing? What did you enjoy? And I'm talking before the age of 7, because we want to get to the template. It may have happened somewhere after that through a trauma or a tragedy or something that, stopped you in your tracks. But what were you trained to be? Who were you trained to be? Think about, what did you see your mother doing? What did you see your father doing? Did they include you? Did they nurture your excellent skills or your abilities? Did they give you room to be curious? Did you have space to explore with safety? Would you be loved whether you failed or succeeded? Would you be loved for just being sweet and being your normal self? Or did you have to perform? Did you see them buying people to have love and appreciation? What kind of energy was around you growing up? Was it vibrant? Was it athletic? Was it numbing out? Was it dead energy around you? Did you get direction to excel? Were you exposed to things that you found that you liked or loved? Was it squashed? The reason I'm asking all those questions is because you really need to consider what you were taught and how you want to reignite your passion, your greatness, your love for things that you enjoy doing. Because I promise you, everybody I promise you. How can I promise you? I can't promise you. But what I'm saying is, I do believe, my own belief is that everybody has their thing, their stuff that's great about them, that's wonderful about them. So what's great and wonderful about you? Were you ever encouraged to even look at that? Or was all of that squashed? Don't be too arrogant. Don't be too proud. It's wrong to be proud of yourself. Don't be so selfish. What kind of things did you hear or learn? Or did you learn the other flip side? The way I can be appreciated and loved is because I have to do, perform, be. In order for me to be accepted, I have to give constantly. In order for me to be accepted, I have to excel all the time or prove myself. I really want you to I want you to question, what was the energy around you before the age of 7? Were you important? Were others more important? Did you learn that the adults know everything and you know nothing? Look at your behavior and back it up to before the age of 7. What gave you proof that what you're doing now, what was trained into you? What gave you proof that that's what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to be? Again, look at the energy of the people around you. Were they happy? Were they successful? Were they down in the mouth? Were they scrambling? Was there hope? Was there joy for life? Was there dread for life? Was there just existence? So many beliefs get locked in by what we see around us. If you are around thriving, you tend to thrive. I'm not going to say across the board always, because things can knock you down or life can hit you out of the blue with something that really can stymie you for a long time. But what I'm saying is, you want to get to the template. And I think there's huge value in that, because once you know where the template is, then you can start doing some energy work on it. Find practitioners that can help you release those traumas, tribulations, the energy that you no longer want. How can you reignite your greatness? It's not up to somebody else. It's up to you. But if you didn't have training, you probably are floundering. What do? I'm doing what I saw. A lot of times that's what replays. So if you don't want to do what you saw, or what you were trained to do, or what brought you love that you really didn't like, or you just want to reinvent yourself, it's time for something new. Think about where the template is before the age of 7, most likely, and start exploring those thoughts, those feelings. Look at it from like you're a third party. Kind of take yourself out of the situation. And if you can't even do that, then you've really got some emotional stuff to do, because if it ignites you in a negative way, then there is big stuff there that's trying to call to you to say, oh, but this is weighing on me. This is heavy. So after you get some of those answers or insights and awarenesses, then what do you do? Okay, that's fine to know the information, but then what do you do? That's where energy techniques can come in and help you. So what am I talking about? Okay, if you have listened to any of my stuff, been to my website, heard any of my audios, videos, interviews, whatever, you know I have been a fan of tapping. And tapping, EFT, Emotional Freedom Techniques, tapping is an energy technique that can start to stir up and release those old energies, those old beliefs, those old feelings, the hurts, the pains, the suffering, the heaviness of those old energies. There are many energy techniques. I'm a personal fan of EFT. I'm a personal fan of having some insights from Theta. I am a personal fan of NET, neuro-emotional techniques. There are techniques that can help to stir up that energy, to release the beliefs that can start to ease out. Now, can you do all this on your own? Some people can. I think it's much less likely that you can get to the templates, because here's why. You've been living in that energy. You've been programmed your whole life. So when you start to expand beyond what is your norm and what you've seen, it's like you have blinders on. It's like we have blinders on. I know, I've been in those shoes. I've been doing energy work for a long time. I've been a coach for over a decade now. And you put blinders on to what else is possible when you have such a routine in your energy, such a belief system in your energy, such ingrained emotional hangups in your energy. So while you might do some light lifting and you can do some free tapping on YouTube, and that may help you. But when you're trying to get to the reoccurrence, why does it keep reoccurring? Why do I keep attracting what it is I don't want? There's a template there somewhere in your energy, in your belief system, holding in your emotions. Something there has got you locked up, and you may need the help to have somebody who understands energy, who knows how to release it, a practitioner, a coach like myself, or someone who understands energy and knows how to go for the template. Because if you're starting with what's happening today, I'm having an issue with my partner, I'm having an issue with a coworker, my family is driving me nuts, I can't get along with blah, 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 all those kind of things. If that's happening now, that's probably a replay, because most stuff is already ingrained early on. And if you don't learn how to use your energy before it takes such a grip and replays and replays and replays, how are you going to get to your greatness? You're so stuck under all the trash. I mean, just looking the other way and saying, oh, I want to feel good. Oh, I feel great. I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. And it's like putting perfume on shit. Sorry, but it is. So you want to kind of clean up the mess, because the perfume is not going to last forever. And that's kind of what I see going after the symptoms of what's happening now. Go to the template. You may find something much more effective to release, to free up from your energy and reignite your greatness. So I'm curious how this landed for you. What kind of thoughts did you have? What kind of things stirred up? What kind of maybe awarenesses or ahas, or nope, I'm not going there. If something is too painful, then you do have to maybe take it down. But people who know how to get to a template effectively can also lead you through a non-threatening way to release the problems. And once those release, once those energies release, once the emotions are freed up, it becomes easier and faster along the way. A good practitioner will know how to do that. And if somebody doesn't feel right to you when you're seeking out practitioners, move on to someone else. Don't try to make it fit. Don't try to make it work, because right there could be one of your problems. I'm always lined up with people that don't feel right to me. That could be a template. If you're replaying something like that in your life, think about, if that's what you're programmed to do, won't you keep attracting that? Yes, you will. I'm telling you, that's how energy works. From my experience, from what I've seen, from what I've learned, from what I've heard, from what I've seen in clients, from what I've seen in myself, you have the ability to create greatness, even if you didn't get the right template. So, unlearning what you learned, starting to put in what you're great at. I'm not saying playing by ear, playing a piano and figuring out a song by ear is going to do any great shakes for my overall life, but it's a skill I took for granted. How many other things are underneath that I take for granted that are really considered great by someone else? It's not about them considering you great or not. It's about, what do you do effortlessly? What do you like to do? What do you enjoy to do? When you got into things as a kid, what were those things that you loved? If you get into things as an adult, when you have a really fun night out or an interaction with a friend, or you're creating something or doing something, what is it about that you love? Break it down. Try to dissect so that you can recreate it, so that you can say, okay, these are the things that really bring me joy when this kind of stuff is present. You want to be able to reprogram. Once you take stuff out, you've got to put some stuff in. Otherwise, you can default back to your old pattern just because it's so familiar. I hope this helps. Leave me a comment. Share with me what you're thinking. If you have any questions, you can always email me or ask in the comments. If you like this kind of information, you can subscribe to my channel. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear how it's going for you. I'm trying to educate people on how to use their energy. I'm not training how to use tapping. I'm not giving you training or tapping scripts. I'm trying to get you to realize how your energy is working, because you can be tapping forever and not get anywhere. Because if you're not getting to the root cause, the template that started it all, well, you can be spinning in circles forever. And I'm not about spinning in circles forever. I've done a bunch of that myself when I didn't realize all this stuff. That's how I came to understand all this, because I had to try to figure it out myself. And when you figure things out, it's good to share. It's good to teach. It's good to educate. I hope this helps. And until our paths cross again next time, bye-bye for now.